Well, it seems like the ads on all sides, I think in all fairness, have been stretching the truth or being over the top, maybe fair to say as well. Let me play a little bit of a new Mitt Romney ad, which is about Medicare.
You paid into Medicare for years. Every paycheck. Now when you need it, Obama has cut $716 billion from Medicare. Why? To pay for Obamacare. So now the money you paid for your guaranteed health care is going to a massive new government program that's not for you. The Romney-Ryan plan protects Medicare benefits for today's seniors and strengthens the plan for the next generation.
That's the new ad about Medicare, which is a topic that everybody's talking about. So let's walk through the specific words. That ad says, President Obama has cut $716 billion, and the CBO would say and has said it really is a reduction over 10 years in spending. That's from their March 30th, 2011 report. The payment rates for most services, permanent reductions in the payment rates. But the next thing it says is, in that ad, money you paid for guaranteed health care. But isn't that just specifically not true? I mean, it's not money anybody's paid yet. It's future spending, which still goes up. I mean, isn't that just patently untrue in that ad?
No, that's not correct, Soledad. There's only one person in this race of the candidates running, president or vice president, who has proposed, signed into law, and voted for an actual cut in Medicare, and it's a big one. That's the $716 billion, and his name is Barack Obama. So it is not beyond factual, it is absolutely beyond factual dispute that he's cut $716 billion out of the money that was projected to be spent on Medicare over the next 10 years.
But, sir, it's not a cut in Medicare, right? I mean, okay, let me just read from the CBO. Because we now have this.
It's a cut.
It's a permanent reduction in the annual updates to Medicaid's payment rates for most. It's a cut in the spending, future spending, and it's cuts that actually go to insurers, right? I mean, it's not cuts to individuals.
I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is. Here's what it is. It's cuts to payments to medical providers. So over the next 10 years, they're going to get paid less than they would have otherwise been paid, which has all sorts of market implications.
Right, because they agreed to it. And those medical providers agreed to it because they said by bringing more people into the system, that offsets those cuts.
No matter how you say this, it's a cut to Medicare. No matter, it is clearly, you can't even with a straight face look your viewers in the eye and tell you that's not a cut in the Medicare program.
I can't look viewers in the eye from where I am. I'm not saying either thing. I am saying the way the CBO puts it. I will read the permanent reduction in annual updates to payment rates for most services. That is a savings. If you're talking to Democrats, they say it is a savings.
Do you know what that is in English?
I speak English incredibly well, sir, as you know. So tell me what it is in English.
In plain speaking is this, and I just mean compared to the mumbo-jumbo of the bureaucracy and the CBO, what they're saying is Medicare was going to go up by X, and now it's going to go up by X minus 1, or X minus 716 billion, excuse me. So there's no question that is a cut compared to where current law was before Obamacare was passed. There's no way you can present that in any other way.
Or you could call it a savings is actually the other way to present that. You can say there's a savings out of that. But let's move on for a moment, because that $716 billion is the core of Paul Ryan's budget, right? It's part of his budget. He uses that same number, that same figure. I don't understand how you can slam President Obama for it on one hand, and Republicans can vote for it both in March of 2011 and in March of 2012. Virtually every Republican voted for it and cheered it. It seems very contradictory.
Well, here's how you can distinguish it. First, no Republicans voted for Obamacare, so let's keep that clear. Two, Mitt Romney, who's actually running for president of the United States and is Obama's opponent for president, has promised to restore that $716 billion. So that's a major difference between these two candidates.
Well, okay, but House Republicans voted for the Ryan budget. So virtually every Republican did vote for it. And Mitt Romney's budget, honestly, is incredibly unclear. It's very, very vague. You could see, I mean, let's play a chunk of Paul Ryan talking to Brit Hume, trying to defend the budget. And he had a hard time even telling him what the numbers would look like. And this is the man is the face of number crunching in the House.
I'll listen to this, but I have a chance to come back to this Ryan vote as well, because it's different than Obamacare.
Oh, it is different. So let's play a little bit of Ryan talking to Brit Hume, trying to figure out the numbers of what a Romney budget would look like.
The budget plan that you're now supporting would get to balance when?
Well,
There are different. The budget plan that Mitt Romney's supporting gets us down to 20% of GDP government spending by 2016. That means get the size of government back to where it historically has been. What President Obama has done is he has brought the size of government to as high as it hasn't been since World War II. We want to reduce the size of government so we can have more economic freedom.
I get that, but what about balance?
Well, I don't know exactly what a balance is because we haven't, I don't want to get wonky on you, but we haven't run the numbers on that specific plan.
He doesn't want to get wonky because he hasn't run the numbers because the plan is very vague. The plan is very, very vague.
Well, Soledad, a couple of things. First of all, we know that Governor Romney's plan actually moves towards and puts the country on a path towards balancing the budget much more rapidly and dramatically than what President Obama has in mind, which is trillion-dollar deficits as far as the eye can see, and the debt and the deficit actually growing. But I want to get back to the point you made before the break, which is you can't compare the House Republicans' vote for the Ryan proposal to save Medicare to the vote to support Obamacare, which cuts Medicare by $716 billion. Those are two very different things. In the case of the Ryan plan, the House members voted as they did, but in an effort to save Medicare through a different approach, a premium support model, preserving.
Right, I mean, you're right. They're different things, but that 716 is the same 716 billion, which on one hand, for Obamacare, everyone's saying it's terrible, and on the other hand, Republicans are saying that if it's in the Ryan budget, they vote for twice.